Hello and welcome. I'm going to try this again. I was asked to break down thunderbolt pose, which I broke down the one that I knew to be thunderbolt, which is a back bend. That's already posted. You guys can find that if you want it. Apparently what she was looking for was Vajrasana, which translates as possibly thunderbolt pose, although I've always heard it called diamond pose. So I'm going to try this again and break down diamond pose. Starting in a high kneeling position. I would recommend putting a blanket under your knees if you're going to be there for any length of time. You want your knees to be hip bone distance apart. Now I'm going to turn sideways so you can see more what I'm doing with my feet. From the high kneeling position, bring the toes together so the big toes are touching. Start to sit back onto your heels. Toes are untucked. You're sitting on the heels, resting your booty on essentially, I guess, your sit bones. Your sit bones land on the heels. That's kind of the alignment that you have here. Again, knees are hip bone distance apart. For most of us, this is going to be roughly touching. So this is what it looks like from the front. Your feet are not beside you. They are underneath you. There should be no pressure on the tops of the knees. Traditionally, this pose, the full expression, if it's done and held, the hands come together in reverse prayer against the back, bringing the palms together in a reverse prayer pose. This is the held version, the full expression of this posture. If you're moving through this, I generally refer to this simply as a kneeling position. There's nothing fancy going on. Most people will just say come to kneeling, and this is what they're talking about. There's some confusion sometimes with this particular pose because you do have a couple other options that also come from this high kneeling position. One of them being toe squat if you do yin. The toes are tucked for a toe squat as you sit back, but this is not a kneeling position. This is not Vajrasana. This is simply to stretch into the soles of the bottom of the feet. So this has a different purpose. Another variation, or it's not really a variation, another pose that's similar is hero. And that one is actually an internal rotation of the femurs. So the feet in hero are outside of the hips. And the booty is sitting on the floor in between them. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see that sideways as well. This is an internal rotation, not a neutral. And you bring your tush all the way down to the floor. This is a very different pose than a kneeling pose or than Vajrasana, diamond pose. So I hope that answers the questions. I will go ahead and put this up, and if you still have any questions, let me know.